Good evening, Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to another Buzzwords Comedy Bingo. Very glad to have you on board this evening. We've got 4 fantastic comedians for you. But if you've not seen Buzzwords before, then let me run over how it works. We've got 4 comedians on this evening, each doing 10 minutes. And they're aiming not to say some of the dreaded buzzwords. If they manage to get through their set without saying 3 of the buzzwords, they win the grand prize of £5 whole. Now, this is where it gets interesting for the audience. For those of you who have bought a ticket to Buzzwords, I've sent you 10 buzzwords for you to listen out for our comedians saying tonight. As soon as you get 3 of those crossed off your list, message the stream that you're watching on, and we'll check it after that comedian has finished their set to see if you have won £5. I think it's £5. I just recently upped it. Can't really remember. I should really check these things. If you manage to get 5 of the words off the list, then you win £10. I really need to check this because I'm not sure what the prizes are. And if you get all 10 of your words, then you get £25. Now, what we do have also is the fuck sweepstake. Our popular fuck sweepstake. I've got my little fuck counter here. For every time our comedians say the word fuck, I'll give it a little click. Now, the person with the nearest guess at the end of the night wins the whole pot of the fuck sweepstake. So, is that clear? Clear as mud? Hopefully not. You're here for the comedy, here to win a bit of money, not to hear me prattling on like someone who hasn't done his research into his own show. But anyway, without further ado, I think we shall move on to our first guest of this evening. It is Meryl O'Rourke.
Hello.
How are we doing this evening, Meryl?
I'm all right. Feels weird just standing in my house doing this, but there we go. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. If I could remember what the prizes were, then I'm sure the audience would feel better.
It adds more tension.
I'm sure it's 5.
More tension.
Yeah, more tension. 5, 10 and 25. I'm sure that's what it is. But are you going to allow them to win that money? Are you going to avoid the buzzwords?
I don't know, Ian, because you haven't told us what the buzzwords are, which I think the audience should know that we don't know them.
You don't know them. The audience members that have bought a ticket, they know 10 of them each. But at the end of the night, I will reveal all of the buzzwords that have been said on the night. So are you ready, Meryl?
I guess so.
Guess so. Okay. Can't wait to hear your stuff.
Okay. I should set my timer because I have to do 10 minutes. I don't know. I've set my watch, my bedroom clock. So this is really strange for us right now. This is the first gig I've done where I actually can't hear whether anybody's laughing. And there's something about this job which is always borderline mad person shouting to yourself at the back of the bus. But this is the pinnacle of it here. I am in my bedroom gigging, which is really not the best place to be gigging. It has seen enough failure. But yeah, I'm trying to get over my initial resentment of lockdown and not being able to gig out in clubs. I was very resentful at the beginning. I'm not a big name. Generally, the sizes of my audience bear no risks to anything other than my own mental health. But, you know, we can't stop British people from going out and gathering. So we're going to be in lockdown a little bit longer. That is because for British people, the chance of death is actually a selling point for a night out. Like, that's the whole reason Iron Napa still exists as a concept. Okay, like, I think the main upturn of the coronavirus is going to be an increased stag night trade to Wuhan. But, you know, I'm trying to be positive. I actually quite enjoy the mask buying, to be honest. I cannot fathom why people are angry about masks. It's shopping, right? It's just some extra shopping. I understand if people don't believe in them, but angry about them. I mean, you know, I have 35 masks now. And it's really, people are like, no, I'm not buying a mask. I'm not buying a mask. Kim Kardashian, though, has told me I should glue some eyelashes onto I'm going to glue something onto my eye for no reason. That's not going to save your life. Unless you're starving and a fly gets caught in it, that ain't going to do anything. I think for these people, the masks just don't present enough of a challenge. Like, unless you're going to give me something I have to glue onto my tongue, don't waste my time. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite. Like, this is my very favorite. How can anybody resent buying that? You know, it's not a thong. It is a mask. I think my favorite mask is my visor. My husband bought me a visor because he needed one like that. And you see, what I love about this is I can pretend I'm in Flashdance when I'm wearing that. That's really exciting. And now I know what you're saying, Meryl, that outfit was not the most exciting outfit in Flashdance. But to tell the truth, at this stage in my career, my Flashdance fantasy is getting a secure welding job. It's a very different film, watching that in coronavirus, watching the final audition scene, willing her to fail. Don't do it. Don't join the ballet school. You have a secure industrial job where you wear an enclosed helmet. Don't do it. They'll make you retrain for cyber. It's a very different film. And my other favorite mask, this is one that I bought. I bought this mask because it's Marilyn Monroe, basically. So I thought, hey, I can go around looking like Marilyn Monroe. Unfortunately, they have printed it the wrong size. So I just look horrific in it. People literally scream when they see me in this. I have been told off for disfigurement shaming. I'm not trying to upset anybody. It's Marilyn Monroe. Like that is me being punished for my pride, I guess. So I'll tell you something else about me that isn't just about what we're going through now. Let me see. What shall I tell you about me? I'm a married lady. These are both my wedding rings. He bought me 2 rings. Someone liked it. Someone liked it. Someone put a ring on it. Someone liked it. Someone got possessive and put another ring on it. I will be in handcuffs by December. If he ups his game. No, we're not really like that. We're not like that. We don't have a sub-dom sex life. We have more of a dick and dom sex life without the dick. It's really strange doing this routine in my bedroom, looking at my bed rather than looking at a crowd of people who go, it's just sad without people. So yes, we have been married for quite a long time. That's the main issue. We've been married for a very long time. We've been married for 21 years. That is a long time. It's a long time to be with one man doing one thing once a month. Quick look at the bed again. It's a long time. It is an adult's worth of time. Like, there are adults who are 21. I could have made an adult during that time. I've not even made an adult out of my husband during that, let alone a fresh one. It just feels like 21 wasted years. No, that's really mean. In fact, I'm now looking at a huge card saying happy anniversary, so I feel really guilty. That's one thing that we do celebrate, by the way. We always celebrate our anniversaries because we like the fact that each of the anniversary has a symbol. We like to always buy the thing that goes with the anniversary. So how you've got they've got symbols, like they've got silver, paper, cyanide, that sort of thing. So the symbol for the 21st anniversary was brass. This is a very difficult buy. It's a very difficult thing to buy for. There is nothing positive that is brass, like brass stuff, brass monkeys, brass. I'm not going to go brass rubbing. If you tell me I look brass, it's not a nice thing. And I really think the anniversaries is trying to tell me something because they've been a bit crappy for the last few years. This was brass, then it was china. 19 years was bronze. And that was just insulting. Getting bronze after 19 years. I'm thinking I have put up with 19 years of this shit and I've still only come third. Sorry. Now, I do feel guilty there. Actually, I feel guilty saying I put up with this shit because he's a very nice man. He's a very nice man. Very nice man. He's not had an emotion since Run DMC broke up, but other than that, very nice man. And the problem we have is there's a lot of snoring and farting. A lot of snoring and farting. And I do understand how childish it sounds of me to talk about farting in front of an adult audience. I'm going to say audience. There might only be one of you and you might be a child, but I'm going to go for the fact that there's an audience. I know it sounds childish, but what you've got to remember is I'm talking about 21 years of farting. 21 years, every night I have spent that time spend that time with him, shut in a darkened room with his gas. I've checked. This is a war crime. I could legally get NATO to bomb his ass. I actually could. I am not locked in my bedroom on a jolly here. I usually say the name of an audience then, people on the internet. This is very much an amnesty at the moment. I might keep that door locked. I might just tell him that my gig is running all night so I don't get the gassing. I've got 3 more minutes. That's another thing as well. Ian did warn us that the timing goes off. Usually there's 3 minutes of laughter here that I can buffer. So I'll tell you something else. So yeah, one of the main problems of lockdown, I've got 2 children and they have spent a hell of a lot of time online, which I don't usually like. My daughter watches a lot of music videos, which is always a bit troubling, and she gets very into them as role models, which can be a little bit difficult. Like, for instance, Little Mix say you should be proud of your natural naked body. So my daughter's been expelled from school. I wouldn't mind it if there was a bit of variation with the pop stars. I don't mind a couple of pop stars in their pants, but they're all in their pants, like all the time. She just ends up watching endless women with the triangle of pleasure on show. I usually point, but I can't. Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. They're always in their knickers. They've always got that triangle of pleasure on show. Always got the Toblerone of temptation on show. Always that Dairy Lee of desire there. It's always out, and it's a very strange world. You know that the world is in climate crisis, and there are naked women on children's television. My 8-year-old son, has seen Jennifer Lopez's arse more times than he's seen snow. Like, this is a weird world that he's living in. I can guarantee that I know because of my son that there has not been deep snow in London for 8 years. He's never been able to build a snowman. I think it's quite ironic that I am not the only person who in the past 8 years has not had more than 4 inches. Yeah, I know that's a pure old joke, but I can't resist it when you start talking about snow, because the problem with snow, right? There are only 2 things we still measure in inches: cocks and snow. That's it. Everything else has gone metric, but we left out cocks and snow. Why? Why these 2 things? Is that how we measure the snow? I don't know. It seems inexplicable. Just cocks, and it doesn't make any sense anyway, because like, surely it makes more sense for your cock to go metric, because then it sounds bigger. Well, I think if the Remain campaign had run completely on a policy of, let's go into Europe, make your cocks metric, your 7 will become a 13, they'll have won. That would have done it. That's all it would have taken. Sorry, I have to keep looking at my watch because I have to stop at 10 minutes. And that's another weird thing, is because on stage I can just do that, and but here I actually have to sort of go. Anyway, I'm just explaining to you what I'm doing, which I do on stage as well. I'm very into the banter. And I'm just going to drink from a One Direction mug, and then I'll tell you one more joke, and then go. I'm going to say go, but I'm not going to go because I live here. So I'll just probably duck. Yeah, so this snow thing, I've worked it out, right? This is the thing, right? I know why cocks and snow, they do have a couple of things in common. 1, the deeper you get it, the more fun you're going to have. And 2, anything over 10 inches and you won't be using public transport for a while. Now, I make that 10 minutes, but the thing hasn't popped up. So I'm going to say, yeah, I have definitely made 10 minutes, but usually a thing pops up, you see. So I'm going to say thank you, good night, and hope that Ian isn't in some kind of other time zone in Scotland, which means I didn't do my 10 minutes. Thank you, good night, and I hope I didn't say any of the words, but if I did, oh, no, I know what I've got to do. That's why he's left me on. I've got to promote my show. Hello. That's why I'm here. I'm being paid in promotional opportunity. I am doing my solo show, Vanilla, which is about the things I've talked about, but more, because it's an hour long. I'm doing it on the 12th of November on Zoom. So it will be online like this, but I will be able to hear you laugh. So there won't be so much of me going, I hope that's okay. Tickets are only £5, and you get them at paypal.me/MERYLOR. And if you have forgotten any of those details, this, where is it? There it is. This is my Twitter handle and my Facebook handle. Thank you very much. Good night.
Love that, Meryl. Did you not see the 9 minutes marker coming up?
I was too focused.
Too focused.
Yeah.
Too focused in ending up saying 4 of the words.
I'm an old hat.
You ended up saying 2 of them in the last minute as well. Oh, I absolutely loved that. It was a great set. So where can people get the tickets for your show?
Just on PayPal, because it goes directly to me. It's the easiest way. So paypal.me/MERYLOR. And it's £5. If you want to give me less than
Nice.
£5, we can talk. We can talk, because I understand, a lot of people have been screwed by this coronavirus. So yeah, it'd just be nice to have the company.
And be able to hear the laughter rather than just.
Yes, we always
just know that we know that the laughter's there, because I was certainly laughing, and I know a lot of the other guys that were watching was
It's
laughing.
nice to know that. It's nice to just have somebody going, I was laughing, because you're so used to in this job, we have been trained. If you don't hear the laugh, you cry and run home. So it is very strange.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Meryl, and we shall see you soon. So, Meryl hit 4 of the words. We'll be revealing what those words were at the end of the night. And the fuck counter is still at 0. Now, can we change that with our next guest, Mr. Anthony Bozzola? How are we, Anthony?
How you doing? I'm very good, man. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm loving the wrestling t-shirt and also the boxing picture in the background.
Yeah.
Have you got a little Bruce Lee cushion hiding somewhere?
Yeah, I'm the most manly man you'll ever meet. So yeah, I've actually got a cage fight booked for later on Zoom as well. So
Yeah, so you're just relaxing with a few Budweisers before you.
That's right. Just part of my nutrition. This is what my coach has got me on. So I got to do it. Doesn't mean I want to.
Well, to be honest, up here, a lot of violent fights start out with a few Budweisers anyway. So,
where is that beer? I got a sneaking suspicion you might be Scottish.
I'm Scottish, yes, from Glasgow.
Happy days, man.
Wonderful Glasgow.
Beautiful place.
So, Anthony, are you ready to try and beat the buzzwords?
I'm ready.
Nice one.
Aye. Hello, I'm Anthony Bozzola. How's your day been? I spent most of my morning pondering over why, when white people move to Asian countries, they aren't expected to adopt Asian-sounding names. I visited Tokyo a few years back and linked up with an old friend who insisted that his name was Jackson. And I asked him what his real name was. He said to me, I wouldn't get it. He was right, to be fair, but it got me thinking. I went back there again and linked up with another old friend who was living out there as an expat. Oh, by the way, expat is a fancy term for white people that don't like the word immigrant. And I was very disappointed when Alex Ford of Garstang, Lancashire, didn't reintroduce himself as Iwao Ryo Fukara Hazuki Okada-san. Didn't own a single kimono and still supported Manchester United. To be fair, that last bit had him fitting in perfectly, actually. That was my morning. I've just spent my afternoon basking in just how much I love dealing with friends and family that obsessively follow the Premier League football transfer windows and get legit invested in political elections whilst giving me shit for liking professional wrestling because it's fake. Oh, the irony. Look, I love football, but despite us Brits and our love for it, let's be honest, football is inherently one of the stupidest pastimes that there is. I used to live in Wrexham. Anybody from Wrexham? Exactly. As a resident of Wrexham, I often had the arduous duty of supporting the local team. There I was, 30 feet off the ground in the pissing rain, singing songs with hundreds of others like a bunch of Neanderthal Vikings in honor of our goalkeeper who couldn't get an international cap in the Cook Islands for saving a chip from a midfielder who doesn't even get paid to do this as a full-time gig. Oh, and by the way, more often than not, that midfielder was playing for us too. They call it meat and potatoes football. Mate, meat and potatoes leaves me feeling full, nourished and satisfied. I can't say the same thing for Wrexham FC versus Mansfield Town on a Tuesday evening in February. I'm being harsh. Look, I love Wrexham and I love lower league grassroots football. And besides, it's much easier and more fulfilling to dish on the higher leagues. Where the average player earns more in a month than the GDP of Bermuda, and us Brits still sit in the pubs, socially distanced of course, nodding in agreement with a pair of over-the-hill pundits who get paid almost as much to tell us that during their 90 minutes of work, they put in a good shift. I overheard one of them last weekend say something to the effect of, yeah, hopefully today's goal will build Wan's confidence. I'm sorry, but Who does this Wan play for? And how much does he earn? Because if it's any more than the salary of the guy who has to clean the inside of his locker out afterwards, then I see no other reason other than a broken leg that should be halting Wan's confidence to run towards the opposing team's net and kick a ball inside of it. It's only his fucking job. Now, pro wrestlers, on the other hand, they perform 5 nights a week for considerably less money. They don't get healthcare, travel, food, or accommodation, and the crowds are brutal. I saw a clip the other day where a guy, bleeding like a stuffed pig, sprinted the length of the ring, leaping over the ropes and somersaulting onto the other guy who was lying prone on a table covered in barbed wire that had just been set on fire. Whilst this sequence took place, you could see, clear as day on the hard cam, some kid sitting in the front row, leaning against the crowd barrier. He wasn't holding a Budweiser, but with his jaw in his hands and a look on his face that said, my dad could do that. And this clip was from 1999. Imagine what they have to do to get a reaction now. Meanwhile, if Paul Pogba completes 3 clean passes, he gets man of the match and the BBC commission a 60-minute special where they talk about how tough his childhood was. Crazy. Shockingly enough, or not, I have a condition. That's right. At the age of 5, I was diagnosed with dyspraxia. Yeah, not even one of the trendy mainstream ones. There are a number of academic definitions of dyspraxia, but in layman's terms, it causes me to be clumsy as fuck, makes me terrible at planning and remembering things, and causes me to be largely unable to prevent the first thought that comes into my head from spewing out into the world. Don't you ladies listening just want to marry the shit out of me now? They don't know where it came from. They don't know how you get it, and they sure as hell don't have a cure. On the plus side, they say people with dyspraxia are good at thinking outside of the box. I take it as a compliment when someone describes me as someone who thinks outside the box, even if I'm actually spending most of my time thinking of ways to try and climb back into it. There was once a rumor spread online that dyspraxia could be cured with cod liver oil tablets. Upon reading this, I proceeded to consume close to 50 of the little fuckers, double strength, mind you, in one sitting, and ended up being rushed to hospital with symptoms of nausea, migraines, and loose stools. I lost 7 pounds in body fat, kind of cool, and my favorite pair of jeans, not so cool. But I still couldn't tie a Huff Windsor knot or use a tin opener for shit when they checked me out in the morning. Moral of the story? Be careful what you read on the internet, folks. I think the internet is a lot like Madonna's back catalogue. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but you got to trudge through a lot of crap to get to it. Let's face it, Instagram is absolutely jam-packed with the sort of people that think going to the gym is a personality trait, and the sort of people that are now throwing shade at Gal Gadot, not because she supports the actions of a terrible dictatorship, but because she's got the nerve to accept millions of dollars to portray Cleopatra whilst not being an Arab, despite historical sources pointing to Cleopatra obviously being Greek. Anyway, dyspraxia. When I tell people I have it, they usually have 2 go-to responses. Allow me to illustrate. Number 1, I have dyspraxia. Oh yeah, my cousin has dyslexia. Yeah, and why don't you hook us up? We'll compare safety pencils. Number 2 is a little harder to define. I have dyspraxia. Oh yeah, Daniel Radcliffe has dyspraxia. So does Florence Welsh. Oh, even Cara Delevingne has dyspraxia. All of a sudden, they're rattling off the names of moderately relevant celebrities like a game of fuck, marry, kill. And I know they mean well, but I hate this. Like it does the exact opposite of what it's intended to do, in that it takes the focus off the person that's confided in them with this information and made it seem like it's no big deal. It's almost like they're saying, see, people with dyspraxia can be talented, can be attractive, and can be influential. You're not, but still. I'm a middle child. Any other middle children watching? It's not easy, is it? I've got an older brother on one side and a younger sister on the other. These days, we tend not to fight or concern ourselves over which of us mum loves the most because we all know the answer. The dog. Seriously, the dog is a loving pet, but he's got me thinking. You ever wonder if when people are fussing around dogs, taking their photos, gooey gooing at them like they're a person, that the dog ever just sits there thinking, what a bunch of soft wankers. For God's sake, my descendants were hunting deer in packs and living in the deepest, darkest forests of the known world with nothing but their fur and the light of the moon for warmth. Then one day, some bright spark thought it'd be a good idea to force my grandfather to shag a Shih Tzu, and now here I am living in a 4-bed semi with Karen. She's got me wearing knitted sweaters in April and keeps trying to force feed me ice cream. On the subject of dogs, stay with me, folks. Arthur. The cartoon Arthur. Hey, what a wonderful time today. Yeah. So Arthur is an aardvark, to my understanding. Now, aardvarks are a real thing. Again, to my understanding. That's fine. His best friend Buster is a rabbit. Again, fine. And I'm sure one of his classmates is a moose. Fine. Arthur has a particularly adorable puppy named Pal for a pet. So here's my question. If aardvarks, mooses, and even rabbits can walk on two legs, wear clothes, and even develop opposable thumbs, modern tools, and a mutually understood dialect, then why can't dogs? Pal walks on all fours, eats processed meat from a bowl, and beyond sitting, standing, begging, and shitting, he has absolutely no capacity for communication with his owners or anybody else in his environment. You know, like a dog. So, since when were rabbits smarter than dogs? Like, where does animal evolution and politics start and finish in Arthurland? I think there's an untapped origin story in there, and I'm going to get high as hell tonight when I write it. Well, you know, you're probably going to want me to get out of your hair pretty soon, but seeing as I'm on the subject of cartoons, I think I should give a quick shout out to my boy Snoopy. Good friend of my dad's. See, you remember how in that show, Charlie Brown and his mates all spoke such wonderful, articulate English, whilst all the adults in their lives just mumbled and made ineligible sounds? Well, Britain is now a society where every adult must wear a mouth and nose covering face mask in public. Meanwhile, any kid under the age of 11 doesn't. I think Snoopy did easily as good a job as The Simpsons when it came to predicting the future. My name is Anthony Bazzola. Two things about that might surprise you. First of all, the name Anthony Bazzola did not originate in the South Wales valleys. And second of all, it is not an alias that comes from a failed porn career from my university days. And I'm going to get out of here in a second, and I'm just going to say this. I'm going to leave you in the hands of somebody a lot more capable than myself. I'm going to compare this last 10 minutes to the last time I got laid, which I don't know how long ago it was, in that it's been awkward, slow, a little bumpy. I have no idea what kind of reaction I'm going to get, and I guarantee that the next person to climb on here and give it a try is going to make you scream a lot more than I am. Thank you so much for your time. I've been Anthony Bazzola. All the best. Cheers.
Oh, nice ending line there. Loved that, Anthony.
Thank
Loved
you.
it, man. When you started talking about dyspraxia,
Yeah.
I get that confused with dysphagia.
What's that?
Well, to be honest, I found it a bit hard to swallow. Sorry, Meryl. Another one. I said I wasn't going to do any puns tonight, but you said that or did you live in Wrexham?
Yeah, for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a friend that was from there, but he had to stop taking ecstasy because it completely wrecks him. Sorry, this ain't about me. Yeah, love that, Anthony.
Cheers,
thank you very much. Is there anything that anything you've got going on? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Got my my Facebook page. Just Anthony Bazzola Comedy. You'll find it. There aren't many of us. Anthony Bazzola Real One at Instagram. Got a series on there called Like a Boss. Just launching the second season of that this week. So yeah, keep it locked for that. Thank you so much.
Cool, nice one. You got through 5 of those buzzwords tonight.
Oh my god,
5 of
damn.
them. Yeah, you threw a fair few fucks as
Yeah,
well,
I thought
man.
I did.
But yeah, I'll be revealing those at the end of the night. Thank you very much, Anthony. So Anthony with 5. Well, how many fucks? 4 fucks and 5 of the buzzwords. Can our next guest buck the trend? Say hello to Mr. Adam Joyce. How are we doing, Adam?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well. Am I coming through all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. So are you ready to take on the buzzwords, Adam?
Yeah, bring it, baby.
Okay, can't we?
So yeah, I'm starting to get into this whole online comedy thing. You know, all the TV shows that are being done from people's homes just seem like these elaborate backgrounds with all their books. I was trying to do something a bit different. You know, I'm quite working class, so it wouldn't be believable for me to have a proper library. So I was just trying to go for like a, small sort of just out of town library, but it's very hard to find inspiration these days after 10 straight years of austerity. So yeah, we're being told as artists we're supposed to retrain in cyber. I'm guessing Zoom gigs are the closest thing we've got to that. Because yeah, the COVID bailout from the government at the minute is not being directed towards stand-up comedy. Apparently, that's not considered an art form. So a lot of people. So you know, the only and like 80% of comedy clubs will be closing by the end of this year. So the only way I've ever got of hoping to, you know, earn a living at this gig is you know, through Zoom. So I'm really trying to up my game. And only it's a weird medium. The first Zoom gig I went to as an audience, and it was an LGBTQ plus and all the rest of the letters night, and it got hijacked by the Westboro Baptist Church. That's right, the anti-gay, yeah, anti-everything group. They bombarded this Zoom night, and they spent, you know, for 5 straight minutes just chanted "God hates fags," and then to really drive home just how wrong the whole experience was, they bombarded it with gay porn. That's right. To show a room full of mostly gay people that they were wrong, they bombarded it with gay porn to try and shame them. Much like if your house gets an infestation of mice, you always try and drop little bits of cheese around, because that's what will just cause them to disperse. You'll have no mice problems whatsoever. But yeah, a lot of people are sort of questioning why our government don't see stand-up comedy as an art form. Well, you've got to look at it from their perspective. They're looking at an industry that is majoritarily white men standing up in front of groups of people telling half-truths and white lies. As far as they're concerned, this isn't an art. It's a trade. It's their trade, and it makes us their competition. And after the election in December, I think it's fair we can all say, you know, they don't really know how to handle competition, as the only sort of competition the opposition party offered was to its own fucking leader. 2-0. I just realised I have not set my timer going. So got to keep an eye out for the 9 minutes to flag up. So yeah, but no, I'm enjoying sort of doing gigs from home, because at my heart, I'd like to believe I'm an environmentalist, but I just don't like public transport. There's too many, what's the word, people on there. I mean, that's not the only reason. So, I mean, there's just something about, you know, having your own car, having keys in your hand. You can leave when you want. You can work on your own schedule. One of the best things I find is, you know, if I'm tired or if I just need a break on the way back, you know, I can just stop at like a service station and just pick up for, you know, just like some sweets or a sandwich or something. And you can't do that on public transport. You cannot just get a train to stop so you can wander halfway up the platform and check out the vending machine. I know, I've tried. I always get the same response. How did you do that? The doors are locked. Yeah, it's a weird time in 2020. You know, here is a sign of how weird it is. The UK government have put Extinction Rebellion on the terrorist watch list. The US government have put Antifa on the terrorist watch list. It's a sad time when the people on the terrorist watch list seem to be looking out for me more than some of the most powerful governments in the. Can you hear me now? I really need to think up a punchline for this bit, but that was a kickback I wasn't expecting. So yeah, we all went into lockdown just over 6 months ago, and first day of lockdown, actually, I was working at my office, and I got a phone call from my manager, and he said, "Adam, I don't want you to cause a fuss, but we need you to go home and self-isolate for 9 days." And I was supposed to be 14. That was brought up on a Zoom like I did recently by a guy in New York. He said, "Is it only 9 days over there because of the time difference?" I was like, Yes, we're on metric time. 1.3 days to one of yours. Although the way the Brexit negotiations are happening by the end of December, they'll probably be about the same. So yeah, so like I said, I'd go home and self-isolate for 9 days, only 9 days, because I work for the British Civil Service. So it's actually quite impressive. It only took 5 days for such a vital piece of information to find it to me. And seriously, 9 days in self-isolation really sort of messes with your psyche a bit. And this whole lockdown has messed with my psyche. I mean, throughout the month of August, most of what I did consisted of either watching 20-year-old wrestling shows or playing old Super Nintendo games. I mean, I'd like to say I was living my best life, but that'd be a very depressing thought, because that would mean my life peaks at 12. Of course, I'm much more mature than that. You know, I say standing next to a shelf which has a Lego Batman and a Lego Joker on it, which I only bought 3 weeks ago. But I was worried at one point. I was starting to regress quite badly. It really sort of hit home just how badly I was getting obsessed with my old Nintendo games when I heard that the COVID virus was killing off. The average age of people dying from COVID was actually higher than the life expectancy. I'm like, oh, it's just like these games where you complete the main boss and they give you some extra bonus levels. See if you can win that battle. But so I was trying to listen to something a bit more up to date. You know, I listened to The Darkness's most recent album. It's an album called Easter is Cancelled, which in hindsight is strangely prophetic, because it only came out last year. Although when you sort of rock this look on the comedy scene, being 33, Easter being cancelled, not necessarily a bad thing. You know, I mean, I've had some weird Christ comparisons in the past, mostly the way I'm crucified by critics, but still, other than that, I don't want anyone to try and take it literally. I mean, I'm getting away from it. I mean, like I said, during my self-isolation is when I was pretty much crashed out the worst. I got to the point where I gave up on trousers altogether. And after about 4 days of not wearing trousers, I actually tried to come up with a list of jobs that I could do, you know, in maybe just a robe. And so that list, I got it to 2 names. I got it to 2 jobs, which went down to 1 job when I realized Jedi Knight wasn't a real thing. So yeah, the only job that I could think of that I'd be qualified for that didn't require me wearing trousers was the job of Pope, a job which I probably wouldn't be able to do. You know, I don't think I could stand being that close to children all the time. Speaking of children, they were the first to be allowed to break lockdown, weren't they? You know, at the end of July, all primary school children were allowed to go back to school. I'm guessing it's because someone in the government heard that they were making a titanic mess up of the whole thing. We're like, well, they let women and children go first. I am missing getting out and doing gigs a lot. One of the first gigs I did that I actually got paid for was about 3 or 4 years ago. I know, I'm surprised that they were prepared to pay me as well. And I won an award for this one. But so it was in a little northern town called Barnard's Castle. I don't know enough about the history of Barnard's Castle to know whether I was the first person to get up on stage and actively mock the establishment, but I think the newspapers in the last 6 months proved that I probably wasn't the last. So yeah, I'm slowly sort of getting towards the end of my time, and I should probably start thinking about wrapping up with a joke. But after 9.5 minutes of this, I can understand why some of you are thinking that's probably not going to happen. But I'll give it a try anyway. Oh, this one's working now. So, joke to finish off the set. What do you get if you cross Donald Trump with the royal family and Bill Clinton? Taken off suicide watch. I'll just leave that one to hang there, shall I? I've been Adam. It's been emotional.
Thank you, Adam. Mic drop. CM Punk style and walk off stage.
Yeah.
Cheers for that, man. Anything that you're wanting to promote?
I mean, at the minute, you've got my Facebook down is on along the bottom there. That's probably where the easiest way to keep up with me. I do there's a gig called the Panda Mic. I'm on there Sunday night every week, pretty much. And I do the Wrestling 20 Years Ago podcast every now and again. I think the last one I did the WCW one back in August or September even, which was painful for anyone who remembers that event. But yeah, like I said, Facebook, Twitter. I try and keep the Facebook is more updated than the Twitter is, but I post good stuff on all of them.
Okay, great. Well, you managed to say, let's see how many there were. There were 7 from yourself. And not to give too much away, but 2 of them were in your last joke. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, Adam. Hope to see you again soon. Right, so yes, Adam with the pipe bomb there. Quite a few pipe bombs in that set, I think. But I think we'll go on to our final guest of this evening. Welcome, Juliana Heng.
Hello.
How are we, Juliana?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Just glad to be listening to some comedy tonight. And I'm really looking forward to your set as well. So, do you think you have what it takes to beat the Buzzwords?
I don't know what the buzzwords are, but if let's say the audience do win and get some cash for themselves, why not? Let both of us be happy. I'm happy doing my set, and they're happy winning some cash. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we might have someone that has 3 of them, but we will check them after your set. You never know, you might get them up to 5 or even 10. But for your sake, hopefully not, and you can take home some cash. But we shall see. Right? Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Juliana from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Anyone been to Kuala Lumpur before? Great. You did not miss much. We are just the Asian version of Birmingham. I told this joke at UK immigration. And after that, I actually said, Tara a bit, I'm going round the wrecking. For those who are guessing what I'm saying, I'm trying to say the Brahmi accent. And in case I get them wrong, just blame them on Google. I have autism. Autism happens when one part of the brain grows faster than others. For me, it's my forehead. Well, less of a forehead, more of a 5-head. When I was 5 years old, I have not started speaking. My mom brought me to see a doctor. The doctor said, Mrs. Heng, your daughter is like a proton car. The power window to her brain does not work. If you're wondering what a proton car is, it is Malaysia's national car that we are still learning to be proud of. It's been 30 years. The power window still doesn't work. We purposely made it that way so that Singaporeans won't claim it. By the way, this joke kills in Singapore. Because of my power window problem, I'm a bit slow. When you all listen to jokes, you will laugh immediately. I will laugh a bit later. Tomorrow. For those who aren't laughing right now, don't worry. You are just like me. This kind of incident, Donald Trump. Every time a Daily News reporter asked him a question, he only tweeted back a reply at 3 a.m. By the way, this twerp is still saying that the COVID-19 is the Chinese bad flu. I may be Chinese, but don't worry. You won't get the COVID-19 from me through Facebook Live and YouTube Live. But because I have autism, you might get it later. Speaking about laughter, according to laughteronlineuniversity.com, there are 15 types of laughter, ranging from the softest to the loudest. As an autistic, I can only pick up 3 types of laughter. The first one goes like this. Ha 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 ha. That's the real laughter. The second one goes like this. It's the polite laughter, which means you suck. And I pity you. And the third type of laughter goes like this. It's the laughter of UK immigration. No immigration officer is injured in the making of this joke. We hope. People can be unkind at times. I once had a boss who told me, Juliana, you don't look autistic. And I told him, what a coincidence. You don't look like a boss. People also say, Juliana, you have autism. Does that mean that you have commitment issues and you are unable to hold down a full-time job? That's not true. My commitment issues have nothing to do with my autism. I'm just a shitty person. I was an accountant. I quit. I hated it. It's so boring. Yes, I'm an Asian autistic person who hates maths. People say that the vaccine causes autism, but thanks to COVID-19, people are actually demanding for a vaccine. There is a conspiracy theory that states researchers have already found the vaccine for COVID-19. Just that they are still finding out how this vaccine can cause autism. Since when autistic people become so in demand? And yes, I volunteered to be part of their pilot testing. And today, I can say I am super autistic. I'm so autistic that now I'm off the spectrum. People also say, Juliana, you have autism. You cannot drive. That's not true. I'm a very conservative driver. My maximum speed limit is only 50 miles per hour on the oncoming lane. Even better, I'm actually an Uber driver back home in Asian Birmingham. Don't worry, the power window to my car works. Uber sent a message to my passengers informing them that I'm disabled. I appreciate them for doing that, but there is a problem. They did not state what kind of disability I have. Because of that, every time I drive up to my passengers, they will cancel on me when they see me in sunglasses. I'm 30 years old and still single. There's no joke in this. I just want to tell you, I'm still available. Dating is hard for someone like me because I cannot read emotions, social cues, and flirting signals. Sometimes I don't even know when someone wants to kiss me until I feel their tongue. My love life has been a mess. I've been on 6 first dates this year, and all of them ended the same way. They tried to sell me something. Insurance, travel membership, and a human liver. I bought the liver. You will never know when you need one. I've decided to use an autistic dating app. Many of the people there looks very strange and bizarre. And all I need to do is to swipe up on someone I like. Yes, it's called Pokemon Go. As someone who is literal, I find dating app names very complicated. For example, Tinder. I thought that it's an app for smokers to look for their lighters. Grindr, I thought that it's an app for guys to look for their power tools to screw each other. Coffee Meets Bagel, I actually thought that it's a new food delivery app. When the guy comes, he has no food. He is the bagel. We don't have such problems in the autistic dating world. We have an autistic dating site. It has a brilliant name. It's called autisticdating.com. Because we don't mess around when we want to mess around. I tried dated someone on the spectrum. It didn't work out. Do you know what happens when two autistic people comes together? Nothing. It's just like putting two pandas together. We think the same. We act the same. We play Pokemon Go separately. Clearly, we are the experts of social distancing. I've decided to date someone neurotypical because that way, I always get to be special. Thank you.
Okay, Juliana, thank you very much. Just coming on at just under 10 minutes, but all good. Yeah, really enjoyed that set. Really enjoyed it. So have you got anything that you'd like to plug? Where can people find you?
Oh,
Apart
okay.
from
Just
Pokemon Go,
follow
obviously.
follow my Instagram at mxjulianaheng. Yeah, that's where I plug all my shows. Yeah.
Cool, brilliant. Definitely check that one out. You managed to get through 4 of the words there. 4 of the buzzwords. So no winners from our contestants tonight. And as I said, we had a little look at someone who's said that they thought they had something. But we'll have a little look at that in a moment. But thank you very much, Juliana, for coming on. Right, well, Ian Bowden has said that he thinks that he had got 3 with Brexit, Trump, and that Meryl said iPhone. Now, I didn't think Meryl said iPhone, and she come on to me as well. Did you say it? No, she didn't. The shake of the head tells it all. But yeah, sorry, Ian. iPhone wasn't one of the buzzwords that Meryl said. But good news for yourself is that you have won the fuck sweepstake, Mr. Ian Bowden. So very well done to yourself. Yeah, so that is us for Buzzwords for another show. Thank you so much to Meryl, Anthony, Adam, and Juliana for coming on. If you want to catch up with any of those guys, watch the show back. Listen to their great stuff, and as you know, they've plugged their stuff anyway. But yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks' time for another Buzzword show. Hope to see you then. Get a few more people playing, a bit more money in the pot for the fuck sweepstake, and hopefully give out some cash prizes next time. So thank you very much from myself. I'm McPun. Follow me in all the socials if you want. But yeah, thank you very much for watching Buzzwords, and we will see you next time.